Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. We are a few hours before Sassuolo Juventus in Reggio Emilia in the Mapei Stadium at 6 p.m. Italian time, and that will be an important game. Yesterday we already explained it, how important that game would be for multiple reasons. We'll come back on that. We'll come back also on the enthusiasm around the team that we have to, of course, to continue. We need to be happy after today. But at one condition, that enthusiasm is not shown too much on the field, because we need to be focused. We need to be serious. Today we have to do a serious game in the Mapei Stadium. Then the importance of that game for Dusan Vlahovic, that has the opportunity to enter Hall of Fame of important strikers. Attenzione, because we are speaking about la crème de la crème of strikers of Juventus. Important also for Magnanelli, ex-Sassuolo, ex-Bandiera. There is no number 4 anymore with the Verdi. They took it away in honor of Francesco Magnanelli. And then, of course, important game for Berardi and friends. Latest updates about the lineups, everything in this video that should be a short one, just with flash important news. So maximum like if you didn't yet, continue to subscribe. Notification ring on. Why? Because after the game we will be here live on the channel. So what do we start with? Well, with the importance of Juventus for the game of today. We know it. Today Sassuolo. On Tuesday it will be Lecce, and then next weekend it will be Atalanta. If we want to play against Atalanta with that head-to-head and give an importance to that game, well, it's easy. You can't think already about Atalanta. You have to think and focus about Sassuolo, because today we have to win. And people will tell me, Beppe, but Sassuolo didn't start really well this season. We have the obligation to win, and you are totally correct. You are really correct. But is it an easy game? Absolutely not. Just think about the 16th of April 2023, so a few months ago, the last time that we visited the Mapei Stadium. Well, we lost against the Verdi. We lost against Sassuolo 1-0. So we have to do better. And if the stats, historical stats, of the 20 games that we already played in Serie A against Sassuolo are in favor of Juve, it's 14 wins for Juventus, 3 draws, and 3 times we lost. We have to increase it. We have to go to 15 wins today. Because we know it, Sassuolo is always a difficult team to play with. I told you it was also an important game for Berardi and friends. For a simple reason, the number 10 of Sassuolo wants to prove that maybe Giuntoli, Manna, Allegri, they needed to do that extra push to sign him, to increase the offer, because he's a fantastic player. At least that was he wants to show today. Convincing everyone, because he will start the game, that he's a player that deserves to be a bianconero. Maybe even tell them, ragazzi, you missed me today, but don't forget me. I am a great player. I am a Serie A high-level player, and if you want to have me in January, look about how I'm playing. So pay attention to the performance of Berardi, pay attention to Loriente, to Henrique. We will come back on these 3 players in a second, but also an important game for, I told you, Juventus, because we have to go, we have to win. We have the opportunity today to go momentarily on top of Serie A. You know that today there will also be Milan that will play at 3 p.m. right before us against Verona. They could go over Juve. If Juventus wins today, they can go again alone on top of Serie A, waiting for the result of tomorrow, 12:30 p.m. against Empoli that just changed coach. So a lot of things can happen in that game, Empoli-Inter. I'm going maybe too far. I'm doing crazy. And that's what the players doesn't need to do, because they don't have to think about Empoli, about Lecce, about... No, Sassuolo, Sassuolo, Sassuolo. And Max Allegri, yesterday he said it, I feel a lot of enthusiasm around the team. We need to stay calm, feet on the ground, finding that balance. And that's why if we are looking at the lineups, well, the lineups, predicted lineups are telling us that 11 players on 11 will be the same that beat Lazio last time. Just to tell you how important the game is. Yes, there will be probably some rotations against Lecce. Let's see who will be in form, who not, who deserves to play. But now we go with 11 men on 11 that are the same. Szczesny into the goal, Gatti, Bremer, Danilo, McKennie on the right side still, Miretti, Locatelli, Rabiot, Kostic on the left side, Dusan Vlahovic and Federico Chiesa. So the lineups are telling us that we are taking that game extremely serious, because we want to go back to the Allianz Stadium with the full 3 points today. So the turnover, maybe next week, if we need it, if some players are tired, maybe Dusan Vlahovic, maybe Chiesa, maybe Weston McKennie, but that's Then, let's first see what will happen today and why and how do we have to pay attention to Sassuolo. Well, Matheus Henrique is a player that is touching a lot of balls in that middle of the field. He's a bit that regista. He's a bit of that brain in the middle of the field. The player that is saying, I am free, give me the ball, because from my feet, from my brains, we will start playing. So pay attention to Matheus Henrique. Will Locatelli be on him? Will it be Miretti? Will it be maybe Adrien Rabiot? He will be a key player to stop, because initially, if we give them the space, if we give them the opportunity to go up, well, it's the team that after Milan and after Fiorentina in the opposition box and in the opposition field is touching the most balls. So block Matheus Henrique as fast as possible, and that will help you a lot. Another player that you have to pay attention for is Loriente, because Loriente is always the player, more than Berardi, that in opposition field, he's there, taking space, taking the ball, and actually being that creative link up front. So Loriente is one that maybe is not scoring that much in the beginning of the season, but it's a player that you have to pay attention for. Will it be Weston McKennie and Gatti? Pay attention. You can't go with two of them, otherwise you will create a big hole in the back. So pay attention for that. And then where are there some opportunities is that Sassuolo not always are really structured and organized when they are pressing high. When we have the ball from the back, take our time. Not doing the mistakes that Bremer did against Lazio. We have time to look on the left, to look on the right, to look up front, where that ball needs to go. But don't go with crazy things. Okay, why is it an important game for Magnanelli? Well, we already said it multiple times. Ex-Sassuolo, they took away the number 4 to tell you the importance of Francesco Magnanelli, a player that started with Sassuolo in Serie C2, so in 3rd division. He played there from 2005-2006 until 2021-2022. So if I'm not wrong, if I calculate well, I believe 17 seasons, which is super long, which is his entire career with Sassuolo. Played 510 games, 9 goals scored. A player that is a symbol there. And Carnevale yesterday in his interview on Tuttosport, he said it. He explained it really well. A player that was super important. I'm a bit disappointed. I'm a bit sad, let's say sad, that he went to Juve after only 1 year in the technical staff of Sassuolo. But a guy that is already bringing some new, fresh ideas with Juventus. Now, calma ragazzi, because we are again, even on the paper, speaking about when we are doing bad, it's Max Allegri, when we are doing well, it's Magnanelli, and they spoke about it 2-3 times, the question to Max Allegri yesterday in press conference. Calma, tranquilli, it's a guy that will probably have a beautiful future, with beautiful ideas. Him and Padoin, that are more or less the same years, on the field are helping a lot to translate the ideas, the new fresh ideas of Max Allegri. So thank you to Magnanelli, thank you to Padoin, thank you to Landucci that we are not speaking a lot about, and thank you to Max Allegri. Why am I saying that? Because I remember, ragazzi, that in the summer when I told you that Magnanelli would join Juventus, a lot of people said, who is that guy? What did he do? Why is it again a friend of Max Allegri? Because it's a friend because they know each other since the Sassuolo time, where Max Allegri was already his coach. And now that things are doing well, Magnanelli. Oh, ragazzi, tranquilli, let's share with all the team, but important game for Magnanelli, oh good, because he's playing against his ex-team, like Locatelli is playing against his ex-team. Now, let's go to Vlahovic. Why is it an important game today for Vlahovic? Because he already scored 4 goals in 4 games, what he was already able to do last season. Today, he can go with a 5th goal in 5 games, maybe even 6 if he scores a brace. I can be wrong, of course, but I have the feeling that today, Dusan Vlahovic, in his right and left foot, in his header, whatever, he has 2 goals. Today, he has 2 goals for Juve. But if he scores today, he can enter a small Hall of Fame of the last 40 years of strikers. Who was able to score 5 games in a row from the 1st until the 5th game of Serie A? Well, we're speaking about Alex Del Piero. We are speaking about David Trezeguet. We are speaking about Paulo Dybala. We are speaking about Cristiano Ronaldo. 6 goals in 5 games for Alex. 6 goals in 5 games for David. 8 goals in 5 games for Paulo. 5 goals in 5 games for Cristiano Ronaldo. Well, Dusan Vlahovic, that this year already scored 4 goals on 4 games in open play, has the possibility to do better, to do really well. And that will be also important for the player that some people were doubting in last summer in the Mercato. Some people were thinking, if we can cash in and we take that money and we spend a bit on Lukaku, why not? Well, today, Dusan Vlahovic that is already convincing the no-sayers, the people that were doubting him, he has the opportunity to enter, to write his name in that game. But of course, the goals would be important only if Juventus is able to take the 3 points. And then we can think about Lecce on Tuesday. Lecce that at the moment is the surprise for a lot of people. Unbeaten team because yesterday were able to beat Genoa 1-0. Ragazzi, that's what I wanted to tell you. Flash video, short video, watch it. Maximum of like, and we see each other here for the post-game live. If you are looking for me on the watch-along, I will be on Twitch in Italian. Grazie ragazzi, forza Juve. Ciao. Ciao.